Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we have for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak on both the Nintendo Switch and on PC. And today what we're going to be checking out is the fact that we have the very first quality of life improvement making its way to free title update number 3. Remember that last week Director Suzuki mentioned on social media that they were going to start providing on a weekly basis news and details regarding what kind of features we can expect for free title update number 3 in the same manner as they handled heading into free title update number 2, where they gave us pretty much news information leading up to the release of said patch with brand new details as to what to expect. And we finally have the first one for free title number 3, and essentially it means that we're getting adjustments to anomaly investigation levels for you to be able to have access to a lower level version of that same quest you already collected. So their post originally in English reads as follows, but the Japanese one is pretty much the same as well. Free title update number 3 will let you adjust the quest level for anomaly investigations. For example, after obtaining a level 31 quest and working your way to level 100 on that quest, you will be able to freely change the level within that range. Suzuki of Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. In the Japanese post, they also mentioned the same thing, and they attached an image alongside that. The example that they give is that they showcase that the hunter, specifically in this image, has an anomaly investigation Garangolm quest level 100, and essentially you have the option to adjust it from the minimum level, which would have been 31, all the way to level 100. So not only do you get to keep the extra conditions and the failure conditions, which means of course better rewards, more zenny, etc., but more importantly, the adjustment level means that you're changing the rewards. So those Amber Essences Plus that you're being showcased there for the level 100 version of it would essentially be dropped down to just Amber Essence Normal. Afflicted Fang would be not Plus, but the normal version of it. So what they're giving you here is the lower level version rewards instead of just a higher version, while still you being able to tackle the high level reward by just simply adjusting the level of it. You no longer have to worry about going into the RNG quest section of things where you can just, get thrown into a random quest with hopefully the parameters you want, but sometimes you're not because you can't necessarily find people on that specific level anymore hunting those monsters. So now you can just do any of the quests you already have specifically for that monster, adjust the level for a lower version, and if you need to farm those specific afflicted materials, you can actually get them without any much of a hassle. Now, I do find it interesting that they mentioned that you can only do this to level 100, but that is the example that they give. They're not necessarily too specific. Remember, the level cap is now 120. So if you most likely are playing endgame, every single event quest or anomaly investigation quest you have already is like level 120. So you're not necessarily going to be focused on doing level 100 quest. So it's interesting that they mentioned 100. Maybe not. It should have made it clear that you can actually do this at 120 if you actually can. If the highest level you can actually adjust from is 11, which would actually be the lowest level, to 100, which would be the cap at that point in time, that would be a little bit weird. But we're just gonna have to wait and see when they actually implement it, if you can actually adjust level 120 quest alongside that. Now, I do personally think that if this is only being implemented for you to be able to have access to lower quality materials for farming purposes, I think there would have been a easier method for you to be able to do this. And it's pretty much the same thing that you do already for like Palico and Palamute scraps in order for you to be able to craft the armor. If you don't necessarily know, essentially if you are trying to craft, let's say, Royal Ludroth armor for your Palico for whatever reason on Master Rank, and you don't have any of those Royal Ludroth scraps, you can simply just trade in the cat store, in the cat market, trade in any Royal Ludroth pieces and get scraps automatically for that. And essentially you can just craft the armor quickly without any sort of issues. I think that if you already have anomaly investigation higher materials, let's say the level 100 plus versions, the ones with a plus mark on it, you can automatically should be able to trade any of those on a 1-to-1 comparison, or equal to pretty much the lower level version of that. It would have been one of those easy things that they implement, and you automatically get the lower version of it because you already have the higher version of that same material. So it would have been an easy thing for them to implement instead of just simply making you farm once again another investigation hunt, go through the RNG, hopefully you get plenty of drops, and then just do the same quest over and over until you get the materials. When presumably you already did this monster in a higher version, you have the higher version drops, when you could just trade in those materials if those are not the ones that you need, and then just get the lower version. If they would actually let you trade in the lower version for the higher version, I could understand how that would impact like balance and stuff like that. But if they let you trade in the higher version for a lower version of it, there's really no drawbacks to any of that. You're just saving, you know, farming time. So I think that would have been a way better version to actually handle this, a way better method for you to be able to handle this, instead of just making you hunt for the same material again on a lower version anomaly investigation quest. So, you know, that's just my thinking on this, but, you know, Capcom will do whatever they want. Now, with all that said, that is still just the very first quality of life improvements that we can expect heading into free title update number 3. Plenty of more of them should be on the way, as every single week they're going to be providing us with more details on these type of things. Now, some of the ones I've already seen people mention that they want to see heading forward into the future is, of course, the inclusion of adding the access for you to be able to do follower quests with anomaly investigation monsters. That is something that they don't let you do in single player with the followers that you have right now. Remember that they added the follower feature, so you can bring in followers with you to any hunt, but anomaly investigations as of right now, or just even anomaly monsters in general, not even investigation versions of them, just like the A6 star versions of them, they're not available for any sort of quest like that. You can do the normal version of all the monsters, but you cannot do any of the anomaly investigations. So in addition to that, would go a long way to kind of alleviate that same farming thing if you don't necessarily want to deal with the online parameters, or you don't necessarily find people to do a specific hunt. I have some people seeing report that, again, they're looking for a higher level version of a monster, but they don't necessarily find an anomaly investigation version of it, so they are just kind of stuck farming it by themselves online, hoping that someone jumps in when they're used to doing it with other people. Letting you do this with followers, I guess, would just alleviate that and kind of like remove that little bit of a barrier if you have any sort of issues with kind of doing these hunts by yourself, you know. So that would go a long way for, you know, alleviating more of these farming problems that people certainly keep having in endgame formats. But that's about all the information that I have for you guys today. I'm interested to see just what more features they're going to add as we head more into the future. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.